Hello and welcome to a brand new dose of Arise 360. We are your go-to destination for the latest in art, culture, entertainment and lifestyle from all around the world. Now, coming up on today's show, we give you an update on this year's Felabration festivities. Weinstein ousted by a prestigious award board. Well-esteemed TV producer to join the TV Hall of Fame. And Bajan songstress honored by her home country. Of course, we also have a special guest here to chat about surviving Lagos traffic. You want to make sure you stay locked. We're kicking off with all the juiciest headlines from the world of entertainment. Top of the line, more accusations on Harvey Weinstein's sexual assaults continue. They continue to come out since being publicly outed less than a week ago. Here are some recent updates. Now, British actress Lizette Anthony has come forward to disclose her sexual abuse story with Harvey Weinstein. Anthony reported the rape incident, which occurred in the late 80s, to the Metropolitan Police on Sunday. She relayed that they were friends and met while she was starring in the 1982 released film Cruel. The Hollyoaks actress called Weinstein pathetic and revolting and felt disgusted and embarrassed after the encounter. Now, the woes continue for Weinstein as he exits stage left. Yep, to the left, as he's been ousted from the Oscar board. Now, an overwhelming majority ruled to dismiss Weinstein from the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences this past weekend. The 54 members that make up the organization include Tom Hanks, Whoopi Goldberg and Steven Spielberg. An emergency meeting was held as a frenzy of people have come forward. Now, over 20 women have accused Harvey of sexual abuse, and those include Gwyneth Paltrow, Rose McGowan and Angelina Jolie. A statement was made after the meeting expressing, and I quote, "We do so not simply to separate ourselves from someone who does not merit the respect of his colleagues, but also to send a message that the era of willful ignorance and shameful complicity in sexually predatory behavior and workplace harassment in our industry is over. What's at issue here is a deeply troubling problem that has no place in our society. The board continues to work to establish ethical standards of conduct that all Academy member will be expected to exemplify," end quote. Now, all the drama continues, but this time on the flip side, with how some celebrities have chosen to react to all the scandal. Now, the host of the Late Late Show, James Corden, takes one joke a little bit too far at the AMFA Gala, and that was on Friday. Now, of course, in the wake of Harvey Weinstein's public scandals, many celebrities have come out about their experience and their thoughts. So Corden, who was the MC of the night, did not shy away at the subject, making inappropriate jokes at the annual event, which supports AIDS research. He said, and I quote, "It's a beautiful night here in LA, so beautiful. Harvey Weinstein has already asked tonight up to his hotel to give him a massage." Well, that joke did not go over well as the audience responded with groans rather than laughter. Corden released a tweet apologizing about his comment, stating, "To be clear, sexual assault is no laughing matter. I was not trying to make light of Harvey's inexcusable behavior, but to shame him, the abuser, not his victims. I am truly sorry for anyone offended. That was never my intention." Gosh, who else feels like whenever Hollywood celebrities mess up, they come up with these big emotional apologies and then everything gets swept under the rug? Well, seems that's how it played out for James Corden. It didn't really play out the same way for women of color. Now, that's what happened when women of color came together on Twitter in a show of solidarity as they protested the lack of support compared to their white counterparts. Now, recently, Hollywood actress Rose McGowan, also a victim of Weinstein, had her Twitter deactivated after a string of tweets about the incident in which she provided a private phone number. Now, Twitter deemed it grounds for suspension. This sparked a Twitter movement, #WomenBoycottTwitter. However, earlier Friday, the likes of Ava DuVernay took to Twitter to confront the biased nature of issues inflicted on white women and the support garnered versus women of color. Her tweets were directed at the exclusion of black and brown women who have often been shunned and provided little support for devious behavior in the form of rape and misogyny across industries. Now, this started a wave of tweets with the hashtag WOC affirmation, of course, standing for Women of Color affirmation, and that's a celebration of sisterhood and harmony. Goodness me, there is so much going on in Hollywood right now, especially on the wake of this Harvey Weinstein issue. And whereas one is grateful that things are falling apart and we are beginning to see the true nature of the industry, We do wish that women of color and, of course, white women would be able to come together and fight this as a united front. That's how I feel about it. I feel like every woman goes through some sort of drama. It's not just in Hollywood. It's not just film or television. Literally, every single industry has its own trouble. So I wish we would just put the race debate aside just for a minute and let's focus on, you know, women running the world. But on that note, we've got a quick ad break coming up. Plenty more fantastic content coming to you after the break, so make sure you do not touch that dial. Welcome back. This is Arise 360. We're your portal for all things lifestyle, culture, entertainment, and arts. Now, talking about all of the above, it's been 20 years since the demise of Fela Kuti. Can you believe it? But the joy in the legacy of his life is that we still celebrate it. And this culminates every single year in a massive celebration called Felabration right here in Lagos. And artists gathered from across the continent and the biggest names in entertainment, from Wizkid to Sauti Sol from Kenya. Now, you know we were there front row to bring you all the action. Have a look at what we captured for you.
Yo, what's good, people? It's your boy YC on my logic #1. Ain't nobody but I done. And right now, you're checking out Arise 360 on Arise News. Don't touch that dial, keep it locked. It's your boy. Peace.
My name is Yenya Nicolas Kuti, and you're watching Arise News, Arise 360. Everybody say yeah, yeah.
Nigeria. Nigeria, it's in my heart. So I'm very happy to be here again. I came from France for Felabration because I was living here for 10 years and I love Nigeria. And just to be close to people, I love Fela. What Fela said is the truth. So if there were more people like Fela, the world will run better.
Felabration is wonderful. You can see we're celebrating Fela right now. Fela is an icon in Nigeria, like he's a legend, and then he spends all of our clothes. We're having African clothes right here, just representing Fela. Fela is just is a trademark in Africa that we can't forget.
I think this should be the 4th year I'm coming, and I hear the theme for this year is the prophecy. Yeah, I am. I'm really enjoying myself.
Hi, this is Queen Aniva Degayi, and I am certainly happy to be here at the livest set in Africa, Nigeria, the giant of Africa. We're here for Felabration 2017, baby, and if you're not here, you're missing it. I'm hanging out with Arise 360. Do you know about that? 360 degrees of power, pumping power in the media, giving you the films, giving you the music, giving you the entertainment that puts you in the center of everything in Nigeria.
Fela did not just inspire with music, he inspired a lot of us with the way in which he lived his life. I was talking to a friend of mine just before leaving the UK, telling them that I'm coming to the festival, and they're like, wow, the late Fela. I'm like, no, who's late? Late for what? Fela is still alive, and I'm glad that this festival exists so that we can keep him alive. I think it's our duty as Africans to keep him alive.
It's always a good vibe. Anytime I'm at the shrine, I always have a good time, you know, be it performing or watching other artists perform, man. I mean, being part of Felabration, this is like my 3rd year being a part of this, and you know, it's something every artist looks forward to. You know, you just have it at the back of your mind. Okay, there's another year, another Felabration is going to be coming around the corner. So, I mean, looking at the number of artists that have been gracing the stage, it's been a week-long celebration. It goes to show you that, you know, the amount of respect and the amount of love people have for Fela, even after he's dead, he still remains a pioneer of, you know, African and Nigerian music.
It's not just me, it's a whole committee of us. We've been having meetings since Felabration ended last year. So it's not just thanks to me, it's thanks to the whole Felabration committee. We have the front end, the back end, the sponsor end, the media end. Everybody has come together to make it a successful event.
I think the most impactful is the amount of people that turn up and how there is no incident, or very little, probably 99% of no issues going on, very peaceful, and I think that's probably, and then of course, all the artists that turn up for very little or no money to honor my father. So these are things that are very important for us.
The new generation has a chance of options for their role models. Many of the people who grasp the headlines these days, especially, you know, are not exactly what we're looking for as role models. So it's good that the finer points of Fela exist to inspire the younger generation. When I think of Fela, who's my aburo, my junior brother, I'm very glad that I had him as a junior brother.
Everybody say, yeah, yeah. That's exactly what Shonda Rhimes is saying right now as the plot thickens for the hit TV producer who will be inducted into the TV Hall of Fame. Now, she's a creator of TV shows such as Grey's Anatomy and Scandal. Mega producer Rhimes becomes the 3rd female to be initiated into the prestigious club. The ceremony will take place November 15th at the Saban Media Center, and that's in Hollywood. So very special congratulations to Shonda Rhimes for all of us here at Arise 360. Now, we promised you a very special guest, so you want to make sure you stay put because that's coming to you straight after the break. And we're back. You're still tuned into Arise 360, where we entertain and inform you. I promised you a very special guest before we went to an ad break, and that's exactly what I'm about to give you. COO of Oga Taxi, Loco Idoko. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for joining us. I hope you enjoyed the boat ride here.
Absolutely. It was amazing.
It was amazing. Different from your means of transportation. Let's get into it. What exactly is Oga Taxi?
Well, so Oga Taxi is Nigeria's indigenous e-hailing taxi app. So we we just try to make people's daily movement seamless within every Nigerian city. That's the plan.
Okay, I like that you say that because I've had an experience with Oga Taxi and I enjoyed it. But with other e-hailing, apps and platforms available, I wonder how much thought and effort and energy are you guys putting into the actual experience, as it's become such a necessity for us to have your Oga Taxi, your other things that I won't name. How much effort are you putting into ensuring that it's a pleasurable experience for us?
Well, first of all, for us, especially in a city like Lagos, what you want to do is to make the movement of people a lot seamless for them. You try to decongest the city, right? Because we already know Lagos is notorious with traffic because everyone has a vehicle in Lagos, So for us, it's all about how do we decongest the city? How do we make people's life every single day a lot easier for them? So at Oga Taxi, we currently just rolled out the pool option where we want more people to share rides, So instead of just one person requesting a taxi, you can now have 2, 3, or even 4 share a taxi.
How's that going? Because I don't know how I feel about... it gets hot and sticky.
At the end of the day, it's supposed to be for mutual friends, right? So there are people you already know. You probably ride with people you're friends with on Facebook, on Twitter. So you're pulling friends, mutual friends from social media. And everyone lives around the city, so it just makes life a whole lot easier for people. It's being used currently in Lagos. It's working perfectly, mostly for people who work, on the island, who live on the mainland. You already know your colleagues, so there's no security issue, nothing like that. It just get lesser cars on the road in Lagos.
I was about to say that because the moment I hear social media and people coming together, it sets off all kinds of alarm bells, especially with, the recorded incidents that we've had with other e-hailing applications, and that's around the world. So, beyond the fact that I'm sharing a ride with my colleagues, let's look at the drivers. What are we doing to regulate this brand new industry?
Well, for us, it's all about community approach. So you have to do a lot of background checks on these drivers, which we do thorough background checks on drivers, because it's all about the safety. Like you just said, if you have a problem with your safety, in the operations, then the whole business has a problem, right? So for us, it's very critical, it's very key for us at Oga Taxi to make sure we do really good background checks on drivers.
What's a good background check?
So
I'd like to know.
In a country like Nigeria, where you don't have a database or anything like that, so what you do, you have to spend extra money to get into the communities where these guys live. So you put boots on the ground, literally, that's what we call it, where you have people go do research on your drivers, to make sure, he's a driver, is he or she abusive, is he a drunk in the community, is he a nuisance in the area he lives, so you basically kind of get information from people that live around this driver.
So you guys genuinely have that kind of database.
Absolutely.
But why is it that the other apps that exist, without turning this into a debate, why is it that the other apps have not invested in this kind of thing? Because obviously security is the first concern when you think about this kind of platform.
Well, so what people need to also understand in this business that we're in is, you have people with global templates, and then you have people with localized solution, right? So for us, it's not, Oga Taxi is not just another taxi app, right? For us, it's about what works for Nigeria, what works for our people, because we do understand the day-to-day experience of every Nigerian, the hardship we face as a people, as a country, our setbacks, we understand that. So the app was built to just really focus on these issues we have and treat them.
Now, talking about, building something local, something organic, we got a chance to chat a little bit earlier, and you mentioned how, it's been a bumpy 2 years, but all of a sudden you've just hit this growth spurt. What do you think has, created the conditions for you to all of a sudden, grow as a business?
Well, it was a new industry at the time, and it's still relatively still new. And I think finally people caught on. People caught on, and thanks to Nigerians for supporting an indigenous company. You cannot take that away from,
So you think people patronize you just because, as in, if I had an option right now, I would choose you just because you're, you're locally branded? Because of course, the moment I hear Oga Taxi, it's already a locally branded thing. Do you feel like this market prefers a local product to an international product?
No, because it's a service industry, right? So, if the service is good, people will patronize you. So, you know, first, I think the service is good.
Yes.
You know, I personally use Oga Taxi at least 5 times a day.
Do you have a car?
I don't drive in Lagos.
You don't drive?
I don't drive in Lagos.
Okay, so you're getting high off your own supply. I hope you're paying for those rides that you're taking.
Absolutely. I pay and I do tip my
And you tip
drivers.
as well. I
Yes.
like that. My kind of boss.
Yes. So for us, you know, it's about the service. You know, we've been more innovative than any other taxi app in the Lagos market, in my opinion. When we came up with schedule rides, you know, where you can schedule a ride, you know, you're flying in from, you know, say Abuja, you know, into Lagos. Just schedule your ride before you leave. So when you get to MM2, you don't have to start, you know, looking for data or you're having bad network.
Yeah.
You know, there's a driver already waiting for you 30 minutes before you land. You know, so we've done that. Now we're introducing the pooling system where we can move. You know, so we've been really innovative, and people have loved that about us.
Okay, and you know, it's been a lot about Oga Taxi, but I want to know a little bit about yourself. I know you recently moved back from the US. Tell me a little bit about grad school, and how you ignited the passion for business.
Well, so, you know, studied in the US and Boston, economics and corporate communications. But coming back for me it was eminent. You know, we needed to be back home, you know. I have, my background is mostly in economics and communications, but I love development economics. You know, I love the idea of emerging markets and building, you know, startups. You know, so for me, it's always, you know, I like the energy, and where else can you be on earth if you like something like that? If it's not going to be in Nigeria, then you know, you have no other option. So for me, coming back home was like a definite. I didn't think about it, you know, twice.
Very obvious.
Yeah.
And you know what they say? If you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. Where do we catch you on social media?
Absolutely. So I personally don't have a social media myself, but you can definitely catch Oga Taxi on Instagram at Oga Taxi. You know, and you know, the festive period is coming up. You know, we want people to ride safely. We want more people to leave cars at home. You know, just get on the road, use your app, use Oga Taxi, and you know, just be nice.
That's right. It's no longer about driving to arrive alive. It's just about clicking that button on your phone and doing the necessary. But unfortunately, that is all we have time for tonight. Thank you so much for joining us again. And my name is Miss Vimbai. It's been a pleasure hosting you on this epic edition of Arise 360. Until next week, good night.